Apple sells only about 1 in every 5 smartphones on Earth. 1 in 5. And yet, it walks away with the majority of the entire industry's profit. Samsung, Xiaomi, and 100 other brands claw at each other over price, cheaper screens, bigger discounts, buy one, get one deals. Apple watches all of it and quietly refuses to play. This is the strategy behind the most profitable company in the history of technology, and it starts with one decision almost no other company is brave enough to make. Walk into any electronics store and the pattern jumps out. Android phones are stacked with price tags slashed in red, festival sales, cashback, exchange offers. Then there's the Apple section. Calm, uncrowded, and almost never on discount. The average iPhone sells for around $1,000. The average Android? Under $300. That's more than 3 times the price. And still, people line up around the block to pay it. Apple didn't stumble into this, it chose it.
Here's why. Competing on price is a trap. The moment you win a customer by being cheaper, you've taught them to care about one thing, the number on the tag. So the next company just makes it smaller. You cut, they cut, and you both spiral into a race to the bottom, where the phones get cheaper, the margins vanish, and nobody makes real money. Apple looked at that race decades ago and simply stepped off the track. If you never compete on price, you can never lose on price. So what does it compete on instead? First, the brand. Apple is not sold to you as a piece of glass and metal. It's sold as an identity, a signal of taste, success, belonging. And a high price isn't a flaw in that story, it's the whole point. The price tag is the status. Think about it. If Apple cut the iPhone's price in half tomorrow, it wouldn't suddenly feel like a bargain. It would feel cheaper, less special, less aspirational. The premium is what makes people want it. Lower the price, and you don't sell twice as many. You just quietly destroy the badge people are paying for.
Second, and this is the real machine, the ecosystem. Apple now has around 2.5 billion active devices in people's hands. iPhone, iPad, Mac, Watch, AirPods, and the invisible threads that tie them together. Your messages turn blue and sync everywhere. Your photos follow you across every screen. Your AirPods switch devices on their own. Your watch unlocks your Mac. None of that is an accident. Every single product is designed to make leaving a little harder. Because the thing keeping you inside Apple isn't really the phone. It's your photos, your messages, your purchases, your habits. The cost of switching isn't measured in money. It's measured in everything you'd have to leave behind. And this is where the genius pays off. Apple sells you that premium hardware once, and then it sells you services forever. The App Store, iCloud storage, Apple Music, subscriptions, payments. In 2025, those services brought in $109 billion, and they carry a gross margin of around 75%, nearly double what the hardware makes. For the first time, services became Apple's single biggest source of profit. The phone is the hook, the ecosystem is the line, and services, quiet, recurring, enormously profitable, is the catch. Add it all up, and the numbers stop looking like a phone company at all. In its 2025 financial year, Apple pulled in $416 billion in revenue at a record gross margin of nearly 47%. Nearly half of every dollar it takes in is gross profit. 1 in 5 phones sold, the lion's share of the profit made. That is not luck. That is a machine built to avoid the price war entirely. What Apple has built is the rarest thing in all of business: pricing power. It can raise its prices year after year, and its customers barely flinch because there is nowhere comfortable for them to go. Every alternative means abandoning the ecosystem they've spent years building. When your customers can't easily leave, you don't chase the market price. You set it. Economists call that a moat. Apple calls it Tuesday.
Now, let's be fair. This isn't magic, and it isn't invincible. Premium is a deliberate choice to own the top of the market, not the whole thing. In price-sensitive countries, cheaper Android phones win on sheer volume, and Apple's slice of units stays small. Apple isn't trying to sell everyone a phone. It's trying to sell the right people the most profitable phone, and then keep them for life. India is the perfect example. Out of every 100 phones sold there, only a handful are iPhones. The vast majority are affordable Androids. But Apple isn't panicking, and it isn't slashing prices to chase share. It's opening stores, building its brand, and patiently waiting for a giant aspiring middle class to trade up. It's playing the exact same premium game, just on a longer clock.
And that's the real lesson, and it works far beyond Apple. If you compete on price, you are telling the world you are replaceable, that the only reason to choose you is that you're cheap, and someone can always be cheaper. But if you compete on brand, on experience, on an ecosystem people don't want to leave, then you're the one holding the pen. You set the price. So don't win the race to the bottom. Refuse to run it. Apple doesn't compete on price because it built something far more valuable than a cheap product. It built a reason to never leave. Follow Moneyverse to learn how money really works.